And we are live. Welcome to the process. It is Thursday, January 12th. I am Josh Engleman here to break down a 6-game NBA slate. So a big Thursday, but still a very, very manageable slate. Normally we're getting these 2-game and 3-game Thursday slates, but at least we get a real one for today. If you're here, good morning. Nice to see everybody in chat. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. It's going to be a good one. Trey Jones with the 50 burger. I liked Trey Jones quite a bit yesterday. Excited to break this one down. You actually get me on a show tonight. Normally I am off on Thursdays, but I'm going to be covering for Greg tonight. So you get me on live before lock. So I'm going to be around, folks. I'm going to be around. You get me all day today. This, contenders, strategy show, and then all the way up to live before lock. So no better way to get started than right now. I'm going to need the coffee. It's going to be a long day. Yeah, Miles Turner getting scratched last night. Kind of wild. You never like to see that kind of stuff. I wish we could just go back to not having late swap, man. I would give anything for that on FanDuel. That would be, it would make me so happy. It would make me so happy. Anyway, let's get into it. I've got my coffee here. I hope you've got something comparable. I just realized that this is going to be way too hot, but that's fine. We'll deal with it. It's my own fault. Normally I toss a chunk of ice in, then put the lid on for the Yeti. Brings it to the perfect temperature. Forgot to do it today. So coffee's here. If you've got tea or water, please join me. Rise and grind, folks. That's what we're here for. Cheers, everybody. It's like 4 degrees too hot. That's the worst. By the way, BetMGM, sponsor of this show. Shout out to them. We're going to talk about them in a little bit, probably around the time that we start running crunches. But for now, I just want to let you guys know they are the sponsor of this video. 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum on the line if you guys pay attention. Here we go. Moving it around. There we go. First game on the docket for today. The Oklahoma City Thunder, 10-point dogs in Philly, 231 total. Now, for OKC, we've got no Jeremiah Robinson-Earl, no Poku, no Ousmane Dieng, which means this is basically like the normal rotation that we've been seeing for Oklahoma City. Omer Uri and Lindy Waters are both still with the team. I believe Omer Uri started the most recent game. Am I crazy? I think he started against Miami. He did. And they started Jalen Williams at the 5. So I don't know if I should assume that he's going to do that again. They also then started Kenrich Williams in the third quarter over Omer Uri. So I don't know if it's really going to matter all that much. I do know that I want to take some playing time away from Trey Mann. That is for sure. I got Wiggins in for 13 minutes. I got Trey Mann in for 13 minutes. I've got Isaiah Joe in for something along those lines. Actually, probably too many minutes for Isaiah Joe. We'll take him down to 16. We'll bump Omer Uri up. I don't think that much of this is going to matter. I don't get the sense we're going to be looking at most of these guys anyway. But you never know. Shea in for 35. Dort in for 29. Giddey in for 30. 29 for Jalen Williams. I feel like I don't have an extra spot for this guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so they are running the 11-man rotation. I have 7 minutes left over. Guess I can give a couple more to Trey Mann still. I just don't want anybody to have to, show up even though I don't want to roster them. Does that make sense? Jalen Williams with a Y play? No. So then who am I actually missing? Because that's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Who is the 11th guy that I am somehow not projecting? Oh, Lindy Waters. Makes so much more sense now. Couldn't figure it out. Felt stupid when I was looking at it. I knew I counted to 11. Crazy that Jalen Williams is just like the one guy that isn't playing right now. Not what you would expect. All right, so we can get him up to 15 minutes. We got 15, 15, 15, 15. We'll add one more to Aaron Wiggins since he stinks on a per minute basis. And we'll add one more to Omer Uri since he's not that great on a per minute basis either. Rates can all stay the same. Nothing's changed for the main four guys. There's not a lot to look at for Oklahoma City today. And they get a date with the Philadelphia 76ers. Doesn't look good. You know, opening game looks like it could be the most likely blowout. Everybody's healthy for Philly. We got a very interesting Philly matchup against Detroit on Tuesday, where they beat the absolute piss out of the Pistons. Yeah, they just became the Tons by the end of it. I don't think I have anything crazy that I want to change here. You know, maybe I discount George Niang's minutes slightly. Talking about a guy that only played, 6 minutes in the first half. Maybe we take that down to 18. We give a little bit of a bump to, I guess it doesn't even matter. I got 24 in for Melton, 34 for Maxey. Was Maxey trending to play more than that? Maxey played, almost 11 minutes in the second quarter, plus another 5. I think I'm good with 34 there. I guess this is just 2 spillover minutes. I'll just throw them on Montrezl Harrell now for no good reason. And then I don't have any rates to change here for Philly. I mean, we set those rates up on Tuesday, and I think that all holds. So I think for the first game, it's pretty easy. And as we look at salaries, I think Joel Embiid looks exceptional on DraftKings. We got to remember, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw like an actual human center start for OKC. Like they just want to get a Mike Muscala rotation or a Jalen Williams rotation, but Embiid should thrive here against Oklahoma City. They just don't have anybody. I mean, they're going to have to send doubles the entire time. This could be like a very interesting Tobias Harris day, just knocking down corner threes off of Joel Embiid double teams. I like Maxey at 6,900 or 7,100 on FanDuel. I don't mind going to Harden, but I don't think he's like any sort of major priority. OKC revenge narrative, I guess. And then on the Thunder side, it's SGA really, and basically no one else. I have a really hard time saying that I want to go to Josh Giddey, Jalen Williams, or Lou Dort. Game 1 in the books. That's an ugly one. That's a really ugly start to today's slate. Boston Celtics, 3-point favorites in Brooklyn, 227 total. This one is semi-easy. We didn't get Robert Williams yesterday, which means that we're going to get Robert Williams today. We don't know the status of Marcus Smart, who also missed the past 2 games. So I don't really know what I want to do here. I guess we need to think about Al Horford as well. Take a look at this quickly. What does Al Horford's game log look like this year? Back-to-back sat, back-to-back sat, back-to-back sat. They haven't had a back-to-back in ages. So Horford has sat the back half of a back-to-back every time. Going to assume that he's doing that again. Don't think that we get a ton of minutes out of Robert Williams, but I assume that he just starts. I think we see Grant Williams playing big minutes if Smart is out again, mild minutes if he's not. I'm going to take Grant Williams up to 29 minutes. I think we're probably pretty clearly going to get some sort of combination of Luke Cornett or Blake Griffin. Feels more likely that it's Cornett, but I don't really have the best feel for it. The last time that Horford had to sit on a back-to-back was late November. At that point in time, Blake actually got the start. Cornett came off the bench. I expect Robert Williams to get the start here. So maybe you bring Blake off the bench. I don't think either guy is going to matter all that much. I'm going to go 12 minutes to Blake, 12 minutes to Cornett, and just call it a day. Smart in for me right now. I don't see a way around that one. I don't think Horford's rates are going to change anything either. I got Tatum in for 36 minutes. I got Jaylen Brown in for 34. I feel about right there. So that's Boston. Now, obviously, when we get their injury news at 1:30, that will help a little bit, at least with regards to Marcus Smart. But for now, seems like we just have to project those guys in. This will be my first time projecting the Brooklyn Nets without Kevin Durant. They have not played since Sunday, so they did get a couple days off. Good for them. But now we have a Nets team, no KD for the extended amount of time, and we do have Nick Claxton probable. So I'm going to do this entire rotation from scratch. I think that's just going to be a little bit easier, especially because we haven't really dug into them so far this week. So I assume, obviously, we get Kyrie playing massive minutes and going to have some sort of gigantic usage rate. I'm going to go to 36 for right now, but I think there's a case to be made that it should be even more minutes. We'll get Joe Harris in for... Oh, man. I mean, he's got to play a little bit more, doesn't he? I guess let's just get Royce O'Neal's minutes in. You know, he's going to be, I think, pretty set in stone for like 35. We saw Ben Simmons play about 30 minutes over the past two. I think that he just kind of has to do that now. Claxton has been playing 30 minutes a game, so we'll go ahead and lock that in. Oh, man. I would have assumed that Joe Harris was just going to get a big bump, but I didn't realize how little he has been playing as of late. So we'll give Watanabe 18 minutes. We'll go ahead and give TJ Warren, played upwards of 31 on December 31st. I think he's still going to be coming off the bench. Seems like the type of guy that should play a little bit more. I'm going to go to 26 on TJ Warren. Seth Curry certainly needs some sort of chunk of time. Kind of see Seth Curry falling into that same sort of realm as TJ Warren, but I'm going to go 24 to Curry. I have 41 minutes left over now for Joe Harris plus whoever it is that we think steps into the rotation. I don't think that they're just going to cut Durant out and not replace him with someone. It seems like that you would want that person. Like, I don't feel like Markieff Morris is that guy, but maybe he is. I'm going to go 24 to Joe Harris. It leaves me 17 minutes. I don't have a great feel for where those 17 minutes go. It's possible we should get a little bit more of Watanabe. I'm going to take him up to 20. That leaves me 15 minutes. The question then becomes, do we think that's Edmund Sumner, Cam Thomas? I don't think it matters, which is the real key piece. Whether it's Sumner, it's probably not Sumner. Thomas would be my first guess. I could see them bringing Kessler Edwards back from the G League at some point. It's probably Markieff Morris. Just and you slide everybody down. Although Morris has not played in a very long time. But I don't think that... I just don't see where Sumner fits. They need a different sized person. I'm going to go 15 minutes to Markieff Morris. I don't have a great feel for it. I don't think it matters. We're not going to be going that deep into any of these guys. So we got to grab rates now without KD. This is where things start to get interesting, particularly for Kyrie Irving. So if we look at Brooklyn and we say Kevin Durant off in games that Kyrie Irving has played, and I'm going to say that games that Ben Simmons has played too, because he does change the equation of how the ball gets moved around. They have not played a ton of minutes here where Kyrie and Ben Simmons have played in the same game and KD has been off. But in the 240 minutes, because there's no usage anywhere else, in the 240 minutes Kyrie has played in games that Ben Simmons has played, along with Kyrie being in the game, I don't think that there's any other qualifications I should really set. I mean, maybe I shouldn't even set the Ben Simmons one, but it feels like I should. It doesn't even really matter all that much. So that's fine. Kyrie Irving, 36% usage rate in those 296 minutes. I don't want to go all the way to that realm, but I'm going to go to 34. Royce O'Neal does see a bit of a bump. Seth Curry, 167 minutes. He sees a little bit of a bump. TJ Warren, 124 minutes with no Durant on the floor. He doesn't really see the bump you would expect. I would not be surprised to see him take on to shoulder a bigger offensive load. Ben Simmons, 168 minutes, 11.5% usage rate. What has happened to him, man? That breaks my heart. I'm going to just take a giant gouge out of it. Nick Claxton does see a bit of a bump, actually. Maybe they do need to bring somebody on for usage. I just don't know who that would be. I could see Warren taking a bigger jump. They don't really have any other guys that like to soak up shots. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Kessler Edwards in the near future. Alrighty. From an assist rate perspective, we do see a bump pretty sizable to Ben Simmons. Kyrie goes up a notch, but nothing too crazy. I actually don't think that I'm going to make an adjustment for it. No one else seems to really take a change for ball handling duty. So then finally, we're just going to look at rebounding rates. That's a slight bump to Simmons. Can't imagine that's a big change for Kyrie. Does Claxton see a difference? No. O'Neal or Warren? Where's O'Neal with a big rebounding bump? And then I guess TJ Warren doesn't get rebounds in this scenario. I am going to discount it. Maybe he's just trying to do more offensively. So that's going to be Brooklyn. And here's where we stand. All right. Unsurprisingly, Kyrie Irving looks incredible. 8,800 on DraftKings is just not the correct price tag for him for Durant being out. We're going to see that number go up. 9,300 on FanDuel just is going to look really good. He's a natural priority pay-up option. If you're looking for value on DK, I think it's Royce O'Neal and Nick Claxton are my two preferred. Now, obviously, it's just going to be easier and more likely to go to Ben Simmons. He's $600 cheaper and has the power forward eligibility. $3,900 TJ Warren has a massive upside in this spot. If you think that he's getting any sort of heavy minutes or major usage bumps, he'll look even better than he does right now. But this whole Nets team for today, really, really nice fantasy point per minute, guys. Seth Curry is 3,500. Like, there's so much upside in his minutes. He can just as easily play 30 today. 3,500. Not the best per minute guy in the world. I got him at 0.8. It all looks really good. Like Curry's 5,000 on FanDuel and 3,500 on DraftKings. It's just completely different. Joe Harris could be interesting. 3,300 shooting guard, small forward. Just absolutely atrocious this season. An overwhelming amount of interesting value plays coming from Brooklyn today. And then on Boston, doesn't look great. You know, if Smart's out, then maybe you can give some bumps here. $8,400 Jaylen Brown on FanDuel is the best option you're going to find. If Smart is in, I'll have some interest, but I don't really like the Boston side. Haven't really liked the Boston side of their games for a while now. Gabriel, thanks for being here. All right, we're going to go to Milwaukee, Miami. This one's puzzling me. Because for Milwaukee, Q-tag Grayson Allen, Q-tag Chris Middleton, doubtful Joe Ingles. These are all because they're on the back-to-back. But I don't know. Miami's favored. And Miami's without Kyle Lowry, without Tyler Hero, without Caleb Martin, no Duncan Robinson, Jovic, Yurtseven, Dwayne Dedman. Like, this is Butler, Bam, the bench guys. Still as favorites against Milwaukee. That's surprised. Like, I was very surprised to see that. It honestly makes me feel like Drew Holiday's not going to play today. So I guess, like, don't be surprised to see that. Did something happen to Grayson Allen yesterday? Did he sprain his ankle and leave? He must have, because he played 13 minutes. Do we have any word on how bad it was? Is anybody watching the Bucks game yesterday? Search Twitter. I don't know why Grayson. Oh, okay. That's dumb. So evidently the Heat only have 9 guys again today. And then Grayson Allen may be out. Shout out to Greg's boy, Matt, thinking Giannis is going to sit. There's nothing I can do right now. I don't think Giannis is going to play tonight. I'm almost positive that Drew Holiday is not playing. I'm going to take Grayson Allen out right now. Although, look, this is just... If I look at Milwaukee right away, they don't look great, which is helpful. I don't think I'm going to make any changes to Milwaukee's rotation right now. It just feels really worthless to do so. We have no idea what Drew Holiday is going to do on a back-to-back. We have no idea the status of Grayson Allen. I don't think Joe Ingles is going to start. I really do think that Giannis is going to sit this game out, at which point we're going to be just playing a completely different team. If I leave Milwaukee like they were yesterday on the front end, then I think that no one's going to show up and I can just hand wave it. And this is going to be something we deal with later today. There's no reason to speculate right now. I don't think that it does anybody any, like, every individual guy that I pick to either take in or take out, it's just not going to be worth it. Now, Miami, we could actually look at. So we get Bam back. And then we get Orlando Robinson as a straight backup. In theory, they could play alongside each other. We know that we're going to get big minutes out of Gabe Vincent. That just seems like it has to happen. I guess I should just cut everything out of here and rebuild it. Vincent played 39 minutes on Tuesday. Seems like he's just going to play big minutes again here, so I'm going to go 34. Oladipo played 34. Seems likely that he's going to do at least something like that. Let's get Strus, who played 42 minutes in for, I'm going to go 34 again. And then we can get Butler in for 35 for me. Highsmith is probably going to be good for 28. Probably won't show up as all that good of a play either. Then we can get Jamal Cain. So I don't think Haslam's going to be the guy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so they have 9 guys. One of them's Haslam. So I expect them to go 8 guys. Just like they did last time. But what we're doing is removing Dedmon. So in theory, they played 7. But now we're adding Bam. So they're going to play 8. So let's get Jamal Cain in. I mean, no reason to suspect he's not going to play 24 minutes. That leaves me 5, unfortunately. That's where things start to get a little confusing. I think we need to be willing to say that Bam and Orlando Robinson play like 2 minutes alongside of each other. The question then becomes, who else do I want to bump up? And maybe it's just as simple as going 35 to Vincent, 35 to Max Strus, and 29 to Haywood Highsmith, since Highsmith is such a bad per minute guy. I don't think that I really need to grab new rates, but I am going to do it just because of Bam. But it's mostly just to get Bam's rate. I don't think it's going to move Jimmy all that much. So we're going to say Lowry off, Hero off. In games that Butler and Bam both played. All right, that is probably too small of a sample. But I think we're going to have to just go with it. 122 minutes so far this season where Lowry and Hero are both off and Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo were both available. 25% usage rate for Butler. I'm not going to project him any worse from a usage perspective, that's for sure. Bam in those 106 minutes, 23.5. I'm certainly not going to project him worse from a usage perspective. Victor Oladipo has only played 56 minutes in this setup. I am going to bump him up a little bit. He does strike me as that kind of guy. Gabe Vincent just does a little bit more. Haywood Highsmith has played 32 minutes with those two guys both off. That is crazy. It's such a small sample for Highsmith. And then Max Strus has played the most minutes, 180 minutes, 18% usage rate. So he's just himself. Maybe assist rates are where we're getting big changes. Massive assist rate bump for Jimmy Butler now with Bam back. That doesn't surprise me at all. I am going to give him a pretty sizable bump in assists. Gabe Vincent also gets that pretty sizable bump. Does Oladipo? He has, but I don't want to go too crazy. Not 67%. That would be way too many. Rebounds. Bam. No, but I'm not cutting his rebounding rate with no Hero out there. That would be insane. Jimmy Butler stays the same. I think we're going to have to be good here with Miami. So let's evaluate the Heat. Wow, here we go. We're evaluating the Heat. 4K Gabe Vincent is probably the best per minute guy you're going to get on the DraftKings end. 4K point guard, shooting guard, $4,100 on FanDuel. I like Gabe Vincent a lot. I think you could flip a coin between Bam and Butler. They just have such shitty positions on DraftKings. Bam is power forward center and $500 cheaper on FanDuel. Jimmy Butler is small forward, power forward, $500 cheaper on FanDuel. Bam and Butler are way better options on FanDuel than they are on DraftKings. I think Strus is fine. I think Victor Oladipo is fine. If you want to go to Haywood Highsmith, I understand. Jamal Cain's going to be a tough sell, but I think Gabe Vincent's probably the guy that pulls the most ownership here for Miami. Mileage will vary on Milwaukee. We got to find out what they've got going on the back-to-back first, but I think that team is going to make wholesale changes for today. 114 people in here. That's always nice to see. We're up to 42 likes. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't done it already. We're halfway done this bad boy. Going to Charlotte now. Hornets. 7.5-point dogs in Toronto. 231 total. Slightly surprised it's not even a bigger line. Still doubtful tag on Gordon Hayward. No Kelly Oubre. Which means we know what this rotation looks like, and I don't think that I have to make any major changes. Guess I should probably get off of Miami here. There we go. 34 minutes for LaMelo. That works for me. 33 minutes for Terry Rozier. That works for me. Jalen McDaniels at 32. Yeah, like I don't really see much that I want to move around here. DSJ playing like an extra minute. Probably not the worst idea. Probably have JT Thor in for too many minutes. I think that's okay. Cody Martin seems fine at 24. I don't have anything else I want to change here. I do want to take one last look, though. I feel like I needed to bump Terry Rozier's usage rate even more. So if I take Gordon Hayward off and Oubre off, and I say this is games where Terry Rozier and LaMelo both played, I feel like I didn't bump him as much as I wanted to last. Yeah, 30% usage rate in 201 minutes. I didn't want to give him that bump. And then he went out and went crazy. Kind of bummed me out. DJ Killer Kev with the pizza rolls last night. Good job. I like to hear it. Been a minute since I've had them. I've had some bagel bites, but not any pizza rolls. Charlotte's just easy to project right now. And then Toronto, sons of bitches, opened up their rotation finally. I forget what the tweet said. Let me see if I can find it quickly. Yeah. Raptors had 0 players play 40-plus minutes in back-to-back games for the first time since November. Yuck. So I guess we need to be aware of this now. So I am going to scratch this entire rotation and start it over. I'm going to say that Fred VanVleet plays 35 minutes. I'm going to say that Gary Trent plays 35 minutes. I'm going to say that OG Anunoby plays 35 minutes. I'm going to say that Scotty Barnes plays 34 minutes. Even go to 33. We'll go 33. And then I'm going to say that Pascal Siakam plays 37. I don't think that he's the guy that's actually taking this giant haircut. So then we want to get Christian Coloco in for 14. I want to get Precious Achua in for like 12. We'll get Chris Boucher in for 13. Final guy, we need Malachi Flynn in for, at the very least, the backup run. So that's 9 guys. So 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. So who am I missing? Juancho Hernan-Gomez gets 13. Good to know. We're going to do something like that. All the rates stay the same. But I don't think Toronto's going to look as good as they had been looking. Now, to be fair, it is an incredible matchup against Charlotte. Pace-up spot. I think the prices are still okay for some of these guys. I don't mind getting to Trent or Barnes or Anunoby. The starting five still looks good. Now they're a little bit harder to get to on FanDuel, but Pascal Siakam is still a $9,600 power forward center. Like, I want to get there. I don't really mind getting to Scotty Barnes at, over a little over a fantasy point per minute. I think you can be more pessimistic with their projections and still like them. So that's Toronto. On the Charlotte side, no major priorities here. Anytime you want LaMelo, go for it, but I think he's appropriately priced. Probably like Rozier the most of anybody. 7,300 on DK, 7,500 on FanDuel. McDaniels and PJ Washington are both okay. Mason Plumlee probably a little overpriced. Not the worst game in the world. This one might be. The Dallas Mavericks are 3-point favorites in LA, taking on the Lakers. What do we know for the Mavs? No Dorian Finney-Smith, no Maxey, no Josh Green. Q-tag on Dwight Powell. Could matter. Don't care too much for this particular moment, but could matter. I think you just go to JaVale as a backup center and call it a day. 37 minutes for Dinwiddie works. 37 minutes for Luka. I'm going to make it 38 just because of where he's playing. I assume Luka Doncic just shows up in everything. I got 35 for Hardaway, 32 for Bullock. I'm going to make 31. Jaden Hardy playing 16 or 17 minutes a game. That looks fine. Ntilikina, same thing. Bertans, same thing. Don't have any other changes that I want to make. Rates all stay the same. I can't imagine how good Luka's just going to look so good. So good. And then we get the Lakers. Q-tag on Bev. No Lonnie Walker, no AD, no Austin Reeves. Troy Brown, Russ, and Troy Brown, Russ, and LeBron, all probable. We have to assume that Bev is playing. I'm going to do the whole rotation from scratch just because of how weird they've been as of late. So I know that we're going to get Dennis Schroeder in there 34 minutes straight away. And I think Kendrick Nunn has to play, so I'm going to give him the backup point guard run. Then I'm going to say that Patrick Beverley is playing his sort of normal 26 minutes a game. And then we can get Russ out there for his 29. Know that Thomas Bryant is playing center, playing 30 minutes a game. We get Wenyen Gabriel and Juan Toscano-Anderson as well. Let's say Gabriel can have 18 here. We'll give LeBron his 36. Juan Toscano-Anderson gets 12. Guessing Troy Brown gets the start. Has not played in 3 games. I'm going to give Troy Brown 24 minutes. That leaves me 17. They did play Cole Swider, whatever that is, 25 minutes. Have 9 guys in right now. They played 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They played 10. I guess Sterling Brown could potentially see a giant chunk of time. I'll give 2 more minutes to Juan Toscano-Anderson here. I don't want to split. I'm not adding that Cole Swider dude right now. If I give Sterling Brown 15 minutes, that should be fine. He shouldn't show up in anything. Actually, what I'll do is go to 26 on Troy Brown and give him 13. I do need to update the rates because we didn't have LeBron last time. Can't be having Russ look too crazy. So we're going to say AD off. Games where LeBron and Russ both played. Man, coffee's hitting the spot today. It usually does. I think I say that in every show. That's how good coffee is. All right, 34.5% usage rate for LeBron. 28.5% usage rate for Russ. Thomas Bryant is at 18.8, which he always is. Dennis Schroeder, 395 minutes. 18.5% usage rate. We'll round him up to 19. Pretty easy to project the Lakers. Russ with the massive assist rate. LeBron James. Oddly enough, it doesn't really move the way that you would think it would. Schroeder stays as the same person. Thomas Bryant, not really an assist guy to begin with. And then for rebounds, LeBron does get a bit of a rebounding bump with no AD. Russ just gets that rebounding bump as well. Thomas Bryant gets a rebounding bump with no AD. Does Dennis Schroeder? Is it just an everybody thing? No, I think that's it for the Lakers. All right, so for the Lake show, it doesn't look very good. LeBron and Thomas Bryant would be the two guys I'd want to get to most. Schroeder, 6,400 on DraftKings, 5,900 on FanDuel. Those are the three guys that I would want to go to. I can't imagine wanting to go to Russ at 8,500. He has been playing pretty well, 1.4 fantasy points per minute over the past 30 days. I just cannot go this direction. So LeBron and Thomas Bryant would be the two main guys. Schroeder second. Not a lot there to like. Remember, this is a giant pace down spot for the Lakers. Dallas Mavericks are 29th in pace. The Lakers are second. This is about as bad of a matchup as the Lakers can have from a fantasy perspective. Dallas, on the other hand, gets a massive pace up spot. And then Luka is unquestionably my favorite play. 12-8 on DraftKings, 12-2 on FanDuel. I think he's going to be my number one contender. I have him at 1.8 FanDuel points per minute for today's game. He is going to eviscerate this Lakers team. It looks so good. He's playing massive minutes. He is the second best per minute fantasy player on the planet right now. Just all things Luka today. And when if Giannis ends up getting ruled out, it's going to look even better. We're closing this one out now. Thank you guys for being here. Cleveland Cavaliers, 3-point favorites in Portland, 223 total. For Cleveland, no Dean Wade. Ricky Rubio evidently making his return today. Isaac Okoro is available. Jared Allen is available. So I think we're going to get Ricky Rubio getting like backup point guard run. They're going to slowly but surely bring him back. Howell Neto obviously is not happy to see him. I got Jared Allen in for his normal minutes. Garland, Mitchell, all in for their normal minutes. It's probably Chetty that's going to take a pretty big haircut here. I will also knock down Isaac Okoro by a minute. I'm guessing Chetty is down to basically nothing. Same for Lamar Stevens. I don't have to make any changes for Rubio's rates. So Cleveland's pretty easy. It's just your standard rotation, but now we're going to make Ricky Rubio be a backup point guard. And I assume Portland is going to be pretty cut and dry as well. For the Portland Trailblazers, Q tag on Dame. Now, we all know what that means. If Dame happens to be out, get all of the Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant that you can find. Gary Payton is probable. No Justice Winslow. No Nas Little. For right now, we just have to project Portland the way that we normally project Portland. I got Yusuf Nurkic in for 29 minutes. That works for me. Eubanks has the backup. 35 minutes for Jeremy Grant. I want to make 36. 35 minutes for Josh Hart works. 37 for Dame works. 37 for Simons. Needs the bump. I don't have any rates to change. Portland's pretty easy to project. I can make a case that I should go even higher on Anthony Simons' minutes. 3 straight games of 40 plus. Are any of those OT? No. Yes. Wait. No, and no. Just playing a ton. I like Simons the most. Even if Dame is in, 6,500 on DraftKings, 6K on FanDuel. You just don't need that crazy of a game from Anthony Simons. Like, he's not a great per minute guy with Dame around. I got him at 0.83. But if he's playing 37 minutes a game and it's mostly scoring, like, I got him in for 21 real points. If he gets to 30 real points, like, he doesn't need all that much in any other facet of the game to pay off his salary. He's just too cheap for right now. I don't mind going to any other starter. Lillard, Grant, Hart, Nurk. Tough to go to Nurk on FanDuel at 8K, but 6,800 on DraftKings looks way better. And then for Cleveland, I'm guessing they don't look good. Look better than I thought. $6,100 Jared Allen. Add him to the list of centers. $7,600 Darius Garland would be the guy that I would want the most here from Cleveland. I wish he had better positionality, but Donovan Mitchell's just a little bit too expensive right now. Playing really well, though. All right, time to run some crunches. Before we run the crunches, before we find out what the optimal lineups are on FanDuel, optimal lineups on DraftKings, the power rankings for today, before we do any of that stuff, we need to quickly talk about BetMGM. They are the sponsor of this video. The key takeaway for you guys, I think, should be 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum. That's a deal that you guys shouldn't pass up on, because if you're watching this show, if you're in a legal betting state, this is just a chance for you to get behind the paywall for 2 free months. It's like a $300 value or whatever. You're not going to find anything better than that. You also get some other benefits from BetMGM. Just make a qualified deposit. You will get some bet credits back. Win or lose your first bet. So my recommendation is to go pretty big there. Go check out BetMGM. Get those 2 free months of Stokastic Plus Platinum. One other thing that I think that you guys should be aware of. Let me see if I can find it here. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. That's a giant picture of Odds Shopper and Aton. So I don't want you guys to forget this deal as well. Right now, we have 5 days free of Stokastic Plus Platinum for NBA if you've never signed up with us before. So there should be a link in my description, but pay attention to the strategy show today. The link will definitely be there if it's not. If you've never signed up with us before, you can get our NBA tools, everything that we have, 5 days free. That's going to be our projections, our ownership, our boom bust tool, our new lineup generator, which I assume for someone that hasn't stepped foot behind our paywall, they would find our lineup generator exceptional. Does a lot of the work for you. Move some guys around. If you're more of a 1 lineup guy, a 3 lineup guy, you're not 150 maxing, our lineup generator is what you're looking for. Plus, you get access to our Discord, see what's going on behind the paywall in our chat as well. So that's what we've got going on right now. Check out BetMGM and check out 5 days free of Stokastic Plus Platinum for NBA. Now let's run our crunches. All right. First one up, FanDuel Optimal. We have, I fully expect this to be Luka, not close, jammed away, and I think that we're going to end up getting a ton of value from the Bucks that make it even easier. Yep, easy game here. Gabe Vincent, Cody Martin, Luka Doncic, Victor Oladipo, Tim Hardaway Jr., Max Strus, Pascal Siakam, Royce O'Neal, Bam Adebayo. So you get 4 guys from the Heat. No surprise there. They're shorthanded. Luka Doncic, unquestioned pay-up option. You still unlock that crazy price tag for Pascal Siakam against Charlotte. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Now, power rankings. What do we got? Yeah, I'm not surprised here. Gabe Vincent, his salary is just so low and the minutes are so high that he's going to make any lineup work. Royce O'Neal looks like he's going to be second. It'll be very close with Victor Oladipo. Simon's third. Simon's fourth. It's just a pack of Heat dudes. Look at this. All right, Vincent, O'Neal, Oladipo, Strus, Simons, Butler, Bam, Doncic, Hardaway, and Haywood Highsmith. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys from the Heat in my top 10. And I think it's completely warranted. Really love getting to Luka today. Surprised to see Tim Hardaway ranked so high. Price is down to 5,200. He starts, he plays like 36 minutes a game. There's going to be days where he's going to shoot really well. Those are the days that you probably want to get to him. Feel like he's slightly too optimal. That could be something we'll play with. I'll talk to Adam on the strategy show later today, but that's where we stand for FanDuel. Now let's close this out with DraftKings. Tweety Dimes, do I sleep? I certainly do. I love doing it too. All right, DraftKings optimal. We have wow. Okay. That was not what I was expecting, but Gabe Vincent, 290.58. So this is the optimal by 0.17. Gabe Vincent, Royce O'Neal, Max Strus, Yuta Watanabe, Nick Claxton, Kyrie Irving, Ben Simmons, Luka Doncic. I don't know how much I love the Watanabe one, but 3,100, potential upside with no Durant now. Pay down because of Luka for sure. You get to Kyrie. Fascinating lineup choices there. But either way, it's looking like we're going to be heavy on the Bucks. But remember, I think that we're going to get a bunch of Bucks value. So what in the world are the power rankings on DraftKings going to look like? As expected, it's going to be Gabe Vincent in that top spot. And then we're getting inundated with Brooklyn Nets. Royce O'Neal, Ben Simmons, Nick Claxton, Kyrie Irving. I got my man Scotty Barnes sneaking into that top list. Max Strus knocking on the door of the top 5. Gary Trent is up there as well. I like those Raptors prices. But we close it out. Top 5 or top 10. Vincent, O'Neal, Barnes, Simmons, Strus, Claxton, Irving, Trent, Seth Curry, and TJ Warren. That is 6 Brooklyn Nets in the top 10. A little bit different than the Heat. Not that those Heat guys don't look good. I think we are live to see a bunch of changes as well. So be ready for everything that's going to be happening today. Fun slate. I think it's going to be a really... The playing Luka and not playing Luka lineups are going to be very, very tricky. Because LeBron's going to look good to a degree. We've got Embiid out there as well. These are guys that can match Luka's full ceiling. So I'm fascinated by it. But you do get me on live before lock tonight, 6 to 7:30. Myself and Eric Lindquist. Going to be a good time, folks. I hope you're joining me for that one. I think that's it. I'm going to get out of here now. We've had a good one here. If you haven't hit the like button yet, please do so. We got one more process show for this work week. I'm excited for it. Strategy show coming up in a little bit. You always get myself and Adam share. So good luck tonight, everybody. This was the process.